asking. I wanna scream for the G.O.P. I wanna sit with
TC and Jake.
Hello, Jake.
What's up, man? I like your shirt.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, bud.
It's interesting. It is a Bernie Sanders text laid over the Strokes logo, and it made me wonder, because every election cycle you get probably 3 stories of bands that are mad that Republicans are using their songs.
Uh-huh. Were there bands sending letters saying, why won't Bernie use our songs?
Well, I guarantee you there hasn't been just the straight opposite. I mean, I doubt anybody even gets super mad at Biden or Dean. Like, people you very reasonably could be mad at.
Fleetwood Mac seemed pretty fired up, is my guess.
Yeah.
That they were affecting change. They were just real, wanted to see, they knew the welfare system in this country could not survive without reform, and they were excited about common sense solutions.
Were they the Bernie go-to?
No, Clinton, the Don't Stop Believin'. Not Don't Stop Believin'. Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow.
Okay.
Don't Stop Believin' is a song by Journey, embraced by 2005 White Sox, but no presidential campaigns to my knowledge.
Oh, I almost guarantee you that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, probably,
we're talking like the last 40
Philadelphia
years.
City Council, I'm sure, has taken it up.
Or Dukakis.
Yeah, but,
I thought I was about to learn that's always one of my favorite things. We've talked about this before with like CD liner notes.
This is your favorite things episode.
Yeah.
Where we just kind of talk about.
Exactly.
This is a recipe for cookies I found.
It's very David Stein.
I was thinking more Oprah, Jake.
Love baked potato soup. Oh, that's right. She had that whole shtick.
Had a Frisco cookie company made the list this year.
She still puts out the list.
Of course. She still has favorite things.
How? Where?
You don't need to ask that. It's a magazine with her face on it, my man.
Oh, still cooks?
I think so.
Had no idea.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Like that's the one publication that's still in print?
Yeah, they made it. No, there's plenty of magazines out there.
Yeah, but they can't print Playboy.
Is that true?
Yeah. I think they might do like a quarterly.
That's terrible.
Hard copy. And I only know this because recently...
People ask, is O Magazine still published? Looks like yes. Oh, no, the post is, why is O Magazine ending?
Thank you. Lynn's Buzz.
2 weeks ago. Okay, so this is...
I'm in the trades.
Fresh.
I'm in the trades when it comes to the publishing industry, for sure.
Ending with the current December issues as its last. So,
this is her last time of favorite things.
We've already had. Nah, dude, I'll bet she keeps doing favorite things.
But will anyone care if it's just a Grom post?
Are you asking if people will care about what Oprah says?
Interesting to talk Oprah for a second. It's like she's not really that big of a part of what you would call mainstream pop culture anymore. Just in the sense of like...
I don't know.
That was perfect. You just gave us a very clean, I don't know.
Mainstream pop culture to me is just watching Kanye on Oprah singing Hey Mama. That is my idea of mainstream pop culture.
It was a big moment. But
it's such a good performance. I get emotional every time I see it. Obviously because his mom is there and she's not anywhere anymore except the ground. And that sucks.
That felt like an unnecessary footnote. Most people know that without adding except the ground.
But leaving a open loophole like that, it's a mental OCD. I've been exploring the idea that I clearly it's not too severe, but I think I've got like a slight twinge of being autistic. Like you're right. Normal people don't say stuff like that. I say stuff like that all the time. Surely there's some explanation.
Well, I've thought that before, but I didn't think it just now. So you're clear. No, just like the Oprah, I think it probably is a representation of, not to try to go full Cochrane here, but representation of the fragmentation of just general culture. Because like for a minute she was like
Kelly Clarkson is not a similar figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I forget she's on every time that I see that she's on,
You
and
know,
then the
Ellen
next time
makes it in the news a lot.
Yeah, I guess one way to beat back this flood of the market is to just be like a raging asshole.
I think that
Not pay your people.
You could definitely do a show, and you know, if networks are interested, I could probably do this show where it's an interview show like that, but you know what I mean? Like CNN has clips that go viral on a regular basis. Like, you telling me that there's some fucking daytime interview show that couldn't get on Twitter about as much as CNN? Like, CNN fucking sucks. And how
But you're saying it's not
day,
lighthearted like
you see someone tweeting out something. You know, lighthearted, serious, doesn't matter to me. You just got to have it be good. You got to have it pop. Kelly doesn't get this in the way that I get this.
No, and I don't really think any of them do.
That's what I'm saying.
Except for...
you can find some fun Ellen clips. That, I never remember. Surely her name is Dakota Fanning, right?
Yeah, but I got way...
The one who said that Tig Notaro was her favorite comedian, and Ellen gave like a face like, you know, I'm a comedian too. And then she was like, then like pulled up like her full history of like, yes, Ellen, but you didn't go to my birthday.
Oh,
it was cool. Great. It was great. Honestly, Ellen looked bad. The Dakota seemed fine. Like, even like whenever I say she was pissed because she didn't go to her birthday, it sounds bad, but like in the context, I'm leaving out details. I'm not being fair. Dakota comes off well in the clip.
I can't really call it whenever you say certainly her name is Dakota Fanning with this whole...
Is it Dakota Johnson?
Dakota Fanning is a person.
Don Johnson's daughter is who I'm thinking of, right? The 50 Shades girl?
Yeah, but I was very confused on who was dead between Tara Reid and Brittany Murphy, so I don't know that I'm much of an authority on this matter.
Fair.
Merely 10 days removed from that tragic
Not even
dust
that.
up. Yeah, the Oprah thing, though. I do remember... Like, my mom was pretty into Oprah. Your mom was probably pretty into Oprah.
That does not come close to capturing it.
Yeah, but you had the Illinois thing, though.
Of course.
Mine was more like, you know, that Oprah
she was her number
poor.
one figure in any medium.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that was the thing.
Yeah, she was just
didn't miss an
just
episode.
Completely ubiquitous pop culture
I believe
figure
that she saw every episode that Oprah aired.
Which
I think
really,
that's true.
The only version of Oprah we've had since Oprah is Trump.
I don't know if that makes any sense as a statement.
Just in the sense that pretty much everything that they did, there was a large enough amount of people that cared that it carried the day. Like Obama, I guess you could say.
I don't know that Oprah, I mean, it was like to her audience, but
dude,
you know, I don't have to be Trump's audience to catch it.
But the way I remember this, and it definitely could be falsely, was that even like Oprah was a top, even though like not all of them were mean, like a top like late night talk show joke, like topic. Like she was driving things in the way that politicians did.
Yeah.
And most politicians haven't had the juice that Trump had because they were boring. So like Bill Clinton, obviously for certain reasons, but if we're taking her and putting her up against the political class,
I just don't know why we would.
Just because those are the people that usually everyone talks about on, you know, everything they do. Like
I feel like Oprah was a bit more talked about than any politician that was operating while her show was running.
And yeah, again, I don't know. Like, does she do webisodes? Does she?
I think she does stuff. I would,
but you don't know.
Yeah, like they have a number of podcast mixers. I was looking at the one that Rode puts out because we use Rode gear.
The Rodecaster
in the studio in my home. Yeah, and it's got. Have you seen the Rodecaster? You know about the features?
KJ has one.
Okay, but it's not an answer to the question.
I mean, I've definitely talked to him about it whenever we were doing the show from home a lot. Like, hey, is this worth it for what I'm doing? Just
the main difference it appears to have between the equipment that we have is we can and have gotten like phone calls on here, but it'll Bluetooth to your phone so that it's wirelessly connected. You can make a call and then it's like on the mixer as like something that's easy to dial up and change the volume and everything. And I was just thinking about if we had it, we could talk to my mom about Oprah right now, like just as a spur of the moment, like you talking to the gentleman in Nashville.
Ken.
That's the kind of stuff that we could do.
You know what I would want to do is call
We'll
C-SPAN.
probably get one at some point. Yeah, we could call C-SPAN. I mean, you're probably going to be on hold for a while. I don't know if that's going to deliver us the content we want.
Edit
Seems
that
like
part out.
you're giving your stuff to C-SPAN.
I just am in love with the fact that C-SPAN takes phone calls like it's
Takes
Whip
calls.
or the fan, like in the middle of
Let's go to
confirmation
the
hearing.
phones.
Like they do
Yeah,
what
Jesus
we do
Christ,
as a
why?
bit and say 888 over
Yeah.
a hot topic, and they just, just check
Yeah.
on with it.
But it really is like, fucking Social Security.
Right. Speaking of false memory, Batman and Robin did not come out until 1997. Now, I was 11 at the time.
I know you were, Jake.
Yeah, I know. I've been notified several times.
Okay.
So I must have been 11.
Uh-huh.
And that is...
Was there anyone in this conversation, I mean, I'm having a tough time recalling it exactly, that was saying the age 11 is most likely for...
It definitely is.
Okay,
But
so there was something.
I think it's... yes, there definitely was. I think it's more that I think I remember myself as younger at that time. Like in my mind, by like 6th grade, like we were cursing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like
Sure.
people were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And like to me, all of that feels like it's in the
Incongruent
same
with
18 month.
big fan of Batman and Robin?
Oh no, like big fan of I'm gonna see if I can love myself.
Why wouldn't you be fighting and nutting at the same time? That seems like exactly correlated.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is even like earlier than that, like let's say 5th grade, I think I thought like I was the way I remember myself in what was apparently like 6th or 7th grade, I thought it was 4th or 5th grade, and it was probably more like 6th or 7th grade. Like I remember people being like, bad boys in like 4th grade, and I think we were probably still
Not
upon
ejaculating.
further review, or fighting, or saying fuck, or any of those things. Now I do think that people had nude magazines. But I don't know that anybody knew.
I looked at nude magazines for a good year before I ejaculated.
Yeah, and it may be more. Like that
I
you just
remember
had
the
one in
timeline
the
pretty well.
woods or whatever that.
Came from Thailand.
Okay. Like
one of the-
drop shipped it or what?
One of the kids on my block, his mother was born in Thailand. They would visit occasionally, and if you want to talk about a country where they will sell a Playboy to a fucking 10-year-old,
refer to our McAfee episode.
Yes.
You can get the
I
full details on this
can
matter.
confirm that 10-year-olds can walk into the store and be like, "Give me that titty mag."
Yeah.
And in Thailand, they're like, "Yeah, that's however many Thai dollars." Thai dollar signs.
Thai dollars.
that is appropriate. And yeah, and his mom caught him with it and like threw it away, on the Thailand trip. And he just like grabbed it out of the trash can, put it in his suitcase, and made it back to America. And it really changed my life.
He could have just like sold it for double,
Yeah.
It's like on the streets. It did make me think of
That kid sucked in general, but that's probably a pretty high hit rate. The kid who had porn also fucking sucked. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they were never mine.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't also suck. I just don't think that's as high as of a hit rate that sucked to porn.
No, I
Possession.
don't recall myself possessing a nudie magazine at any time. I mean, I figured out that they had it on the internet pretty quick.
Yeah. And I don't
think
think
that I
did
was
either.
the one to introduce that. In fact,
to your group of ruffians?
I did not get. I'm pretty sure I didn't get in trouble at school. I think like a kid told his mom and she called my mom, and I got in some trouble for it. But I put one still image on a floppy disk, and gave it to some friends.
You had like Stuxnet on
And
it or something.
And it
you
was.
invaded their computer.
I might have told this story before because it was one of the women. It's Karen McDougal.
Oh.
It's the one that Trump paid the hush money to get her.
One of the ones.
Yeah. Stormy, obviously, the other.
I think I just, and this is not the same as...
But whenever Karen McDougal came up, I'm sure the rest of America was like, who? And I
You're
was like,
the floppy lady.
Miss December 98? Is that what we're talking about?
It's not entirely. There's a how
She's
to...
in the snow.
Ooh.
That's
like
how
that.
I know it's December. It might be 97.
Now, that's second to being at the conference table where a bunch of security and energy violations were
Yeah.
committed, but it's not far behind.
She's wearing some furry boots, and that's it, Jake.
I like it. There's a Mandela Effect episode of How To with John Wilson.
Uh-huh.
So this is not quite that, but it does make me think that I really don't have any idea what any of my memories that occurred from like age 8 through 12, the order of them. Like, I think if you asked me to say like what team I played on in each one of those years, I could confidently give you an answer and it would be wrong.
I feel like I got that down all right.
You would think you would use like lines of demarcation of
pass
like
the most recent test.
this
flying
house,
colors.
These friends.
I usually
this
do immediately
teacher.
think about like when I'm trying to think of a memory, I'm like, all right, after that, what's the next time I was home and what home was that?
Right.
That is the easiest way to identify a year something happened. As an adult, as a kid, I was in the same home from age 3 to my parents sold it last year.
Just tripping on the fence.
Just tripping on the fence. Well, not tripping, but yeah.
Falling over it and then not falling over it again as you learned that it was a little bit in over your skis.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the big incident, I assume the one you're referring to is, no, I tried to, like, I stepped onto the fence, and then, like, you would have to take that other step over to get over, and I just kind of froze once I was on, and then I fell backwards, hit my head on the railroad tie, big concussion.
Do you feel like it's been a down decade to 2 decades for railroad ties?
I mean, they were the word railroad tie was uttered once a day at very minimum in my entire life until I moved out of that house.
Yeah.
So in my experience, obviously, yes. But I just haven't lived in another neighborhood with that sort of topography. So,
And for us, that was just like how every lawn was separated.
Yes.
And sometimes like quite unnecessarily. It wasn't necessary. Like,
all of them were pretty necessary. There was several. It was a big jump to go from tie to tie.
Yeah, that's how my brother's knee exploded.
Okay.
The railroad tie.
I thought that was yeah. I do remember. I thought that was a bike accident for some reason.
He was hit by a car on his bike, and then they sewed his knee up, and
then he hit the knee on the railroad
left a piece of gravel.
Had the gravel in it.
In his knee.
Yeah.
And then when his knee hit the railroad tie, it
exploded.
It exploded.
But was still able to lead the NCAA in yards per attempt for a brief span of weeks.
But leading.
Yeah.
But leading. So if we're ever going to do a streaming event again, I want it to be, and maybe this is a folly because you want to be locked in for it, but I swear to you, man, if he does this counter programming of the inauguration
oh God,
day,
it sounds good.
I can't get enough of this entire concept. Like, he's just a content king.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's just too good. Who knows if it'll happen, but I would say it's likely at this point.
Who knows if it will happen? It'll happen. Are you fucking kidding me? 100% chance it happens.
Well, I mean, I guess what I mean is like,
maybe they'll be able to wrestle Air Force One from his cold dead fingers.
And it might be like on Twitch. You know what I mean? Because
it'll be on Newsmax, my man.
Newsmax.
Don't worry about that.
OAN.
Yeah. No, I think from the second that it was clear that he was going to lose, I was interested to see what he would do on the day, and I think that we and all of the people listening to this understood that it was not going to be meekly, hand power over in a responsible adult fashion.
Yeah, but I think you seemed somewhat surprised when I mentioned to you, like, even saying that, like, you could kick and scream all the way up to it, but on the day of, I feel like you were somewhat surprised when I said he's not going to this. Like, there's a 0% chance he's actually there for the swearing in. I mean, that, and
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's not my recollection, but it's not strong enough to say that I'm sure that you're wrong.
Well, I mean, I definitely.
So you might be right.
I definitely pictured everything we all did, everything that's occurring right now, which is just like procedural bullshit, right? Which is toothless and, frankly, a lot less than I imagined.
I mean, surely, yeah. Like,
way less. I certainly
thought
missed
he
that
would
part.
be able to give a little bit better of a job than he's doing now.
He just.
I mean, I never thought it'd be successful, but
goddamn Jets.
This is just pathetic. I mean, 4 seasons total landscaping, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly unprecedented, right? I've not watched every inauguration in history, but I have to figure that even at the old ones, the old president lives just a couple doors down there.
Well, unless he, doesn't live,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's not there.
Talking about William McKinley.
Always Billy McKinley with me. But yeah,
I watched the current war in Thomas Westinghouse, or it's George Westinghouse and Thomas Edison. I always fuck that up. George Westinghouse has a line of Edison wants to be famous. You want to be famous? Shoot a president. It's a good line.
never heard of this in my life.
AC or DC, dude. What's it going to be?
Do you have anything more?
No,
It's just a battle over current.
movie kind of sucks. It could be a lot better than it is. It's an interesting topic. It's a boring movie made about an interesting topic with good actors who don't do especially good work. It's fine. Whatever. They're wasted. Should have done a better job.
So this entire idea is just he departs the White House on Marine One, and then he gets into Air Force One, flies to Florida, and has a rally at the exact same time as Biden's inauguration.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still technically in charge, I suppose, until the moment that the sperm and egg of presidency are united, and he's until this is consummated, it's still his power to have. I don't really know, and it kind of makes me think of like how silly.
I think he's. I would anticipate that like part of this is testing the boundaries, right?
Right, like
he wants to know, and the only way to find out is to try exactly how long he has Air Force One for
next time.
Like I think that no, I think that like if someone doesn't like get the keys from him, you're gonna find out he's been flying it 3 months later or something.
That's interesting too.
I mean, just like
you guys didn't tell you didn't say I couldn't.
Doing his,
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
He did his campaign speech from the White House, right? That was what the big speech that everyone was mad about.
Yeah, with the skywriters.
Rightfully so, whatever.
Rightfully so.
That they were mad that he is giving his political speech from the White House.
I thought that
I would
people
like to
being mad about
president.
that seemed like massive dweebs. Like,
both things can be true.
Yeah, this is
I would like for that not to happen.
Norm.
Everyone who is mad about it is the dweeb. It's not a norm, dude. It's the law. Hatch Act. Look it up, bro.
Yeah, but I feel like even in the aftermath of that, it was kind of fuzzy on whether or not there was anything actually that could be done as far as redress.
Yeah,
or if
it's probably just like a fine or whatever. Like
2 minutes well worth it, like Kenny Wu said.
I doubt that he'll. Who's Kenny Wu?
He was on Team USA in D2.
Okay, all right.
The Bash Brothers taught him to fight.
Yeah.
So he got into a fight, pulled the guy's jersey over, gave him a couple. Yeah. It was whenever the team was really losing their cool.
Okay.
And composure.
Mm-hmm. Did that bring him back?
Not in that game, no.
Sharpen the boys?
I believe
and girl?
One of Dean Portman or Reed Fulton threw their helmet into the stands in celebration of Kenny Wu's defiance. And
I think there's a pretty limited number of lines I remember from that movie. Eating ice cream with the enemy, ducks fly together. That's about it. Quack.
Have I told you about the time? Okay, now I have to look this up because I'm misremembering everything about my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this checks
out. Did you
out.
and Goldberg do heroin together?
No, or didn't steal a car. Mighty Ducks 1. There was a time where I knew the entire thing word for word.
Yeah, I buy that.
And I remember doing it somewhat quietly in the back on a trip whenever we drove. This is when we went to Opry with my parents. And I don't know if I tape recorded it first and would listen to it to get it down, but like I could do the entire 90 minutes and just picture it in my head and knew the entire movie.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little different than last week's claim, so I feel a little bit better about this one.
I think you're right. I mean, just because Daniel would watch Happy Gilmore on rewind so that it would be fresh to him. Like he knew, like it stopped being a challenge to do every line of Happy Gilmore word for word. So that's when he started watching it backwards. So he could see if he could do it kind of line for line, but backwards.
Okay, but like the audio's down? Like, because it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's just, whatever. Yeah. No, it's not like they're doing the lines.
He's like,
yeah, no, he couldn't speak backwards.
I was like, Jesus.
But
I think he's possessed.
he would watch it on, like, just a slow rewind, but like it's on a VCR, so it's still on the screen, so
Right.
you're just seeing the thing. Yeah, he could do that.
So it may be just a fine, but it reminds me of like how silly a signature feels to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, so he's...
And if you had the thing like
it's not class president, it's the president. You're like, it's not real until this moment. Like, it's such a dumb thing. And he's like, yeah, no, I have this plane until the hand touches the hand on the book thing, and
but how's he gonna get back?
Until then, I'm in charge. You come get the plane. That's the thing. It's like, I live in Florida. I brought the plane down here. You'll just have to come get it.
Yeah, like if I was selling you a car and then we transfer the deed and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. And you're like, yeah, car's in Dayton, motherfucker.
It's kind of like that,
uncouth.
yeah, but...
It seems uncouth.
It's a norm.
Yeah, no, I don't know how it works. And here's the thing, Jake, neither does he. We're just going to try some things.
But he knows no one else does either.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what's great about him.
like with doing his speech from the RNC. I feel like he's done other things from the White House where... Norm Ornstein was upset.
Crimes.
Yeah.
You scoffed at 2024, but I think, and a lot of people think, that's what he's going to say.
Oh, 100%. I think he will run. I think he will win the Republican nomination.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's all I need. I just need another 2 years.
No.
Maybe
I
make
need
it
that
4
too.
of the cycle.
I want it. We'll probably get it, in my opinion. And, we'll see what happens from there. Will Biden still be alive?
I mean, you say that, but I think he'll, I don't have any actuary tables in front of me. I mean, he'll be
I mean, his bones are just breaking.
Come on, man. What was it?
He was playing with his dog. And if anyone wants to treat that credulously, I have years worth of Derek Holland tweets to show you.
Yeah, it was
As someone who thought that it was at least possible that Derek was playing with Wrigley and was a little upset that we were treating this like it was a 0% chance, I am not prepared for all of you to act like it was totally real now that it's a different situation.
But even real, like, what did he break?
His foot.
I've been checked out on everything Biden related, to be honest with you.
Metatarsal. No, I don't know. He
even
broke
if
a
they
bone in
just
his
like,
foot.
who cares if it was playing with his dog or he just fell? Like, what do you think happens to people at that age?
Yeah, dude, but I'm
They
just saying,
fall.
like, don't have such a breakable person leading the free world would be my recommendation. But
Agreed, but we
whatever.
just did, too.
Yeah, and Bernie's,
Yeah.
recently had a heart attack. I understand. So, listen,
As
it's
you
not
wear
what
the
I
Bernie
want.
shirt.
It's not what I want. I want Bernie to be 25. But we get what we get.
So I had another, I'm very excited about this possible made-for-TV event. I'm very excited about the possibility of the announcement for 4 more years of basically, again, counter-programming as a prospective candidate and then for, ultimately running. My other favorite Trump story was the mass pardon story.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear this? Did you know about this,
All my
Kev?
kids, whatever they do, like if you find that they committed a crime, then I say it's okay.
That part's funny, but expected. I suppose this part's pretty expected as well. But like it all started, I guess, probably with the Michael Flynn thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that, like, he'll be on the phone with someone that he's like at least cordial with, not necessarily like inner circle.
Would you like one?
Yes. And they're like, "What?
For what?"
And he's like, I could pardon you. I'm open to doing that. And that, like, who knows? These are unnamed Beltway sources, but that,
like, presidents who everyone will tell you were really serious and did a great job pulled bullshit like this. Was the guy's name Mark Rich? What was the Clinton one?
that sounds right, but it also sounds like Georgia's former coach and the U's former coach. So
That's Mark Richt.
I get a little confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was she related to Hillary?
on
Wasn't she like Hillary's cousin?
January 20th, 2001, his last day in office, he was pardoned. He was indicted on federal charges of tax evasion and making oil deals with Iran during during the Iran hostage crisis.
Look, business must continue.
It's a great country we've got here, folks.
I love this from this article, though. Quote, one source felt awkward because the president was clearly trying to be helpful, but the advisor, quote, didn't believe they had committed any crimes.
Yeah. It seems like a bit of an accusation.
Set up here? Or?
You seem like a guy who's touched your niece. Would you like a pardon?
Your brother already told me what you did. So.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
How many times do you hear that sentence in your life?
Oh, my God. Both ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was so funny that he's just like, he's sitting up there in there on the phone like, I don't know. It doesn't appear they have a limit on how many of these I can use, so...
I imagine him like offering it to people in lieu of birthday gifts. Like he forgot, like he showed up to the party and was like, fuck, no gift. I could get you a pardon. Yeah, no, that's fun to consider. I have good and bad news from you on the Fargo front, Jake.
From or for?
I don't understand the distinction in this context.
You said I have good and bad news from you.
For you.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to...
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not good at speaking. Would kill at that interview show, but not because of the clear speaking.
Just because of your ability to really get to the heart of the soul.
Yeah, and, generate content. So I have watched 7 episodes of Fargo.
Okay.
But they were the first 7. I didn't know if you'd feel discouraged by that.
Why?
It's a good show.
Oh.
I just wanted to start from the start. Just
okay.
figured, fuck it, why
because
not?
I was upset with you about your...
That I hadn't watched 4. It seems like you want to talk about 4.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly...
you've asked several times, have you started watching 4 yet?
Unlike with your, I won't watch a movie that doesn't have a computer in it, and then you violating it
Clearly
several
been relaxed over time.
That one didn't really frustrate me.
Shouldn't have done it with the current war, though. I should have stuck to my guns.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I wasn't... I didn't agree with your stance regarding the previous season of Fargo, but I thought it was at least defensible. The reason I didn't agree with it was because I thought the show sucked. And I was trying to save you from having to continue plowing through season 3.
I know it sucks. I mean, the reason I stopped watching 3 was because it sucked. I saw how much it sucked. But
and then I didn't want you to just have to subject yourself to however many more episodes of suck.
It's clearly integrated, it's going to be a spoiler if you tell me it's not. So don't tell me it's not, Jake. But I mean, maybe it's not that integrated everyone else, but who knows what kind of clues I could pick up if I watch the first 3 seasons all in a row and then watch the 4th.
Big Easter egg guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just a fucking ton of them between 1 and 2.
Yes.
How many times do they say the word Sioux Falls in season 1?
And
a lot.
Molly's dad.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm spoiling anything. You'll figure out what there is and what there isn't, but it is not like that. And I just think that's what was really cool about the first 2 seasons of that show. And then I don't remember there being a ton from 3 that made me feel like it was related to 2 or 1 at all.
Not at all.
And I think 4 stands up on its own as a really good show.
I mean, it's clearly a similar, there's a Malvo character in season 3.
Right.
But, I don't know. But I hadn't, whenever I got done whenever I got done watching 2, that was a show where I was like, I definitely have to rewatch that at some point. I know there was more richer material that I did not get to because I only saw it once. And I feel like you can't get to it really without watching 1. So I was like, if I'm an interface with the whole thing, I'm just going to rewatch the whole series from the start. I've got the time, pandemic, don't have a job, what else? But yeah, so I do want to, and I mean, kind of the thing about TV and movies is that they're taking very basic statements of values or observations about life, truths is what I'm talking about. They take basic truths and by illustrating them, make them interesting. So whenever you then distill it back down to the truth, you're making it super boring. you're stripping out everything that is interesting about it. If you just say the sentence, actions have consequences, that's not really going to grab people's attention. Making this fucking 10 episode thing about people killing each other indiscriminately, that's going to do it much better. But I really do feel like that was, I mean, in a way that obviously, I mean, it's just such an obvious statement that like everything is about how actions have consequences, right? Like obviously actions have consequences, but it was something that I noticed more strongly on what is now my third viewing of season 1. Just like because you know all the scenes I'm talking about. The first one where Colin Hanks stops Billy Bob Thornton, and he does the whole "there be dragons here." They used to say that on maps, and they don't say that anymore. But it doesn't mean there's not dragons there, son. So if you want to see that daughter again, how about you turn back around and get back in your car? Like Malvo himself does a lot of those. Whenever he's talking to the Jewish neighbor of Colin Hanks, and he's like, the Crime Watch stuff. He's doing the same thing, but like. It's inviting like a gravity into every single decision you make that like I do sometimes feel, and like I think that is an interesting aspect of life. How much like how interconnected things can be, and how an action that you take passionately but not very thoughtfully can then trigger something in someone else that's very strong, that's then a force you have to contend with. The way that I think about this most often, like the way this practically comes up in my life most frequently, is Twitter. Like whenever you get an annoying tweet that like you don't know how they meant it, but like it really pisses you off. Like I've pretty much settled on, I don't put a lot of time into like trying to humiliate people who say things like that, because of like that sort of thing. Like, I start to go down a chain of like, yeah, dude, but, you make reference to where you live in general. Like, they could probably find this out. They could look through DCAD records. Like, for everything you know about this person is one tweet. What if you, like, actually knew them and knew that they were, like, super unstable and, like, the kind of person to, like, go and fucking kill your dog? And, like, that's something that I'm always, just in Scientology, they will kill the dogs of critical journalists from time to time. And like that was I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole, but Synanon killed a guy's dog. We can talk about Synanon later.
I'm sorry, what?
But
it's like an internet conspiracy group that believes that there's a small cabal of people that molest cinnamon rolls.
It's SYN.
Oh.
I think
I was confused.
The title came from the founder. Like someone else was like tripped over a word and like said Synanon, and he was like, yeah, it'll work. So it means nothing.
Is it a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to do an episode. Fuck, man. What else we got to do today? Maybe we can do the episode today, but
we can't.
What I would like to talk about is just wondering, like, if I say something to this guy on the internet, is he going to kill my dog? Basically, is where I land a lot of the times, and it just that anxiety that I have in my head fairly frequently, very little anymore, but like definitely used to be that I would encounter that at least once a week. And I would venture to guess you might encounter it. I mean, it was more often when I was on the ticket is what I'm referring to.
That's why you have a reduction in it for sure. I mean, it's pretty constant for me.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I assume that it stopped happening for me for reasons directly related to me ceasing being employed there, as opposed to the entire internet getting nicer.
Right.
But I couldn't prove it, so I wanted to check. But yeah, so you know that experience of like wondering, of being like, boy, this guy needs to be squashed. Should I squash him? And then being like, boy, but if I do, like, how's this gonna go? And that is like, there's just so many times in the series where that's kind of what they're talking about. Whenever Nygaard's brother comes into him at the hospital and like pretty much cuts off contact, where like everything he's saying, I think it's clear enough that he's accurate. Like whenever he's telling Lester, that like, you've done all this fucking up. The cops say that you wanted on this thing. And honestly, I've seen so much fucking shit from you that like it wouldn't fucking surprise me if you had done that shit. And we all know, in fact, he did. But like he lays it on a little too thick. He digs it in a little too deep. Like he echoes the words of the wife of like, you're just a born loser. And at that point, you can see it clicking in his head, like, I'm going to escape here and hide this hammer in my brother's house, and he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail because you don't fucking talk to me that way. And, like, that's an extreme reaction and not one that you could normally anticipate from a person. But, like, that doesn't really matter for the consequences of Chaz's life, It's one of the great dangers of the world, in my opinion, is that we don't know how much like these minor shows of annoyance could trigger a much more serious reaction from one of the unstable people around us. So I think the show communicates it beautifully.
Yeah, well said. And it's why I don't do a lot of tweeting.
And I think that's why, like, the blocking, I think, is a really, like, that's why I do it so much and it feels so effective to me, is because I think that's something where I know very few people who react, like, super angry to that. They usually laugh, right? Like, they're usually like, haha, got to him, like, fuck this guy. But it's not the kind of thing where if you block someone, they're going to be like, oh, well, now I got to kill his dog. But you are able to do something, like the tension that you feel whenever you read the mean thing that they said. It doesn't entirely dissipate every time, but it helps to like commit an action, to be like, I'm cutting you off. But I don't think that it's likely to bring back. And I mean, it's also just fun. There's a lot of reasons why I like blocking so much. Fun. But I think that's why it's a good solution.
It's much more common that they will email you regarding me or email me regarding you and ask for a stay of execution than it is that they hide a hammer in your house.
Yeah, that had been used to kill someone.
There's also
if it hadn't been used to kill someone, it's just a gift.
In lieu of a pardon. It's also, it comes with the slight notion of like, man, I wish I didn't piss people off like this all the time, because I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
That cow is
this is
way out of the barn.
This is where the Brunigs are instructive. Like two normal people just living a normal ass life trying to share some good ideas, and the world goes nuts.
Yeah.
So I
guess I don't know them well enough. I do feel like they probably.
Well, if you have any questions, I'm right here.
Yeah, I have like a slight enjoyment in it at times.
People going off on them?
No.
Oh, okay.
Making people mad.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not permanent.
Sometimes I'm clearly trying to.
It's not all the time, and it's typically short-lived. That feeling of this is nice. In general, I don't think I really like it. I don't know. I guess I go back and forth. A lot of times it feels good right away, and then later when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know. Does it ever occur to you that so many people seem to find you repulsive? And then that is...
With me, it's pretty clearly like an addiction level thing, I feel.
What do you mean?
Like, I just got to have a little conflict every day.
Yeah, but... I think
it's not healthy, but I've accepted it. It's inescapable.
What I usually settle on is that if given the platform, at least half, if not a majority of people would also find themselves in the same situation. Yeah. Like if given this, here, you just got to put stuff out here all the time, and this is the amount of people that are going to hear it, and they can access you, then it's not really extremely unique. Now, again, where it's a matter of degree and it's on a spectrum here, but anyways, I think...
Yeah, no, my friend Alex put it in a way that seemed obvious in retrospect, but I'd never thought of before. So maybe you thought of it this way plenty of times, but I found it novel. Just like, have you ever been on a bus and been like, boy, I wonder what everyone on the bus is thinking? Like,
oh yeah, every time.
Really? I'm saying like I don't think. I want to know what they're thinking.
Yeah. No, I think that on the freeway.
Like as you're walking down an airplane aisle and looking at the fucking slack faces of the other people on the. There's some of
It's
them
one
that I
of
would
my
like to
favorite
know
parts about
what
flying.
they're thinking. But most of them, I'm like, boy, I hope they don't talk to me.
I do it. Yeah, I think
Do
that
you talk
about,
to the people next to you on planes a lot? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I am interested without having to do that, what they're thinking. Dude, you know this. You know, you've been on a plane with me with one of those guys. I swear that was a flight whenever we were headed to hang out, and one of our buddies was like, yeah,
Talking up.
recently divorced.
Oh,
And he was just like,
yeah, no,
just going in, and I was
recorded
like, I was like, yeah, I think I might have like texted you or something.
I
when
played it on the podcast.
we were still on the ground, and I'm like, dude, shut up.
I loved
like,
it.
why are
I
you
loved it. I want it again. I want to fly somewhere with him soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertaining, but I just can't
Yeah.
imagine being that person.
Yeah, no, but if you're saying that you're interested in the thoughts of everyone on the plane, like easy way to get to this one, dude. And if you are
No,
legitimately
no.
interested in the thoughts of everyone on the plane, then
No.
why
You're
do you
confusing
ever
two
take
things.
breaks from Twitter? That's what it is.
I'm interested in their inner thoughts. Those are different.
Yeah.
They are. It's different to think about. Like, I wonder what.
Yeah, but we're exposed to their inner thoughts now, and turns out most of them are annoying.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know that. I think Twitter is like in the middle of.
Yeah,
and
it's obviously got some public facing.
People say like, well, you would never say that if we were in person. Probably not.
It's a mix.
But there's also things that, you would just never say, period. And I think a lot of people still don't say those things, even without the.
But they do think them on planes.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of this comes back to just sheer narcissism. Because as I'm walking, I definitely find, because I'll tell you this, I judge every one of them.
Yeah.
Maybe not like in a moral positive or negative sense, or even like an appearance thing, but I will find myself, if I'm sitting there thinking, wonder what's with that person, about every single person that walks by. And I'll add in how you carry your bag, how you put it up. If you have to go over somebody, are you nice to them, or you just kind of do the, hey, two finger, hey.
I think the concerns and reactions of the
B.
masses are not something that I would like to really spend a lot of time wallowing in.
I didn't say I like it.
Okay.
I just said I do it.
Yeah.
Did you see this Robert Kraft story last week?
No. Did he get a hand job that he paid for?
No, but dude, it was so funny the other night on WFAA, weeks after his stepping into it over, I love to work with a female station manager or a female co-anchor because they'll work for about 70%.
Mm-hmm.
Weeks after he had to issue an apology for that, they did a story about a tickle bar in Dallas.
We got a tickle bar.
We do. So
Can
essentially
you
just your...
explain that's what you're doing?
I mean, it is what it sounds like in the sense of it's like a massage, but they tickle you. You pay by the half hour, and if you want them to tickle your back, it's kind of ASMR-y feel to it, where it's a stress reliever for you to get tingly. And
So,
I fucking hate
whenever
being
they say
tickled.
tickle, do they mean tickle? I guess is my big opinion.
And I think
big
it's kind of
question.
like, I know you're a big massage guy, so I think it's kind
Never
of like
gotten a
that.
massage in my life.
Where you can note the degree of like pressing that you would like. Like some people are like, I'm sensitive, way too sensitive to pain. Some people are like, give me the Dommy thing. So I would imagine you can kind of say like, I just barely want the little draw on the back thing, or I want like a
But that just
type thing.
the draw on the back thing doesn't seem like a tickle. What I'm saying is, in order for this business to exist, I bet that they're really expanding the finger movements that they will refer to as a tickle.
Probably.
Yeah, so I think that's bullshit.
But I also think that if we were to give a general umbrella, it's somebody touching you in a non-sexual way that's also not a rub. Like it's not a muscle rub,
Yeah.
it's not getting into your tissues, but
Sounds pretty worthless to me. Did they all agree?
they did the story. So Anchor, when he's throwing it to Pete, Pete's like, I'm not touching this one. And then Pete, whenever he's throwing it to Dale for sports, Pete's like, Dale, I don't know if you saw the story earlier about the tickle bar. That sounds like a place that you would have loved. And Dale's like, well, actually, I used to frequent a place called the Tickle Bar quite a bit till the cops raided it and arrested her. And he was like, but I thought it was weird. Because, and I'm doing like half Dale, half Obama. I mean, Robert Kraft recommended it to me.
He really did that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and he
fuck
was just
yeah,
dying
Dale.
laughing.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
Chris
that's a
Young
good
hired
one.
his GM. Let's talk about it next. So Robert Kraft,
Get him, dude.
who
Sued Dale.
almost completely skated on his Palm Beach.
Why put an almost
shit.
in there?
I thought he had to pay some money.
I think that he was just found not guilty. Y'all got to feel me.
Well, his Orchids of Asia dust up. It was again.
It was a real technicality. Like it was that they had the tape, but the tape was like the warrant wasn't good. It was the kind of sloppy work where like I've watched a movie, so I didn't think police did that anymore, but apparently they do.
They dropped the charges, but I knew they blocked the video because obviously we'd be playing it on a loop.
But even I guess. It wasn't just that they refused to make it public. It was that it was not admissible in trial.
Right. See, okay, I guess you're right. I thought he had to pay some money, but in any case, that makes it even worse. There were, I think, at least 3 women that were ordered to as being part of this. They have been sentenced and owe like $30,000-$40,000
because they gave him a hand job.
Yes.
It's fucked up.
And like, it's like you'd like him to make it right, but then he can't because
He can't. Send him some bitcoins, dude. Untraceable. Blockchain. Let me tell you about the blockchain, brother.
Blockchain guy has arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are women who were threatening, they were being threatened with having their passports, taken from them. They had their cell phones taken from them for a period of time so that they could
describe to me the
search them.
Andrew Yang blockchain guy Venn diagram.
Oh my God. Wow. That's Reptile Sword Guy.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you saying, Reptile Sword Guy?
Oh, that might have been after you were off the show. But I mean, I would have thought we'd have talked about this on the podcast before, but that's the same guy.
Okay, so I thought you were saying that Reptile Sword Guy and Blockchain Yang Guy were all 4 qualities.
Now,
I disagree
if you
with
put
that.
all 4 circles
but people
down,
who like reptiles and people who like swords.
There's going to be some unexpected
There's a
crossover.
middle part.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think that middle part is tiny, but it's not huge. It's not opaque like blockchain.
I know that the way that
Yang.
mall swords are talked about these days is just about how pathetic it is that adults own them. But I know before I say it that you will be in full agreement with me that it was a full-on obsession as a 6th grader. And I've been thinking about it. I think the day my daughter turns like 12, I'm gonna take her to the mall and let her pick out one.
You're gonna have a fucking LARPer on your hands.
Do you remember how much you wanted one?
I'm not saying that's bad, but I want you to reckon with it before you do it and make the judgment of whether or not you want.
I mean,
a LARPer.
I did some light LARPing as like 2nd grader, and like I don't recall
however
the
much
time
time
that I
we
was
have
happier.
left. That's what I want to hear.
I've told you about it before, dude. Just like they would take PVC pipes. It would take like some kind of padding, usually Kleenex.
I don't think it counts unless you're wearing a costume.
Like a tube sock. Well, okay, then it doesn't count. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
Sean Bass had his disc golf tournament in Arlington a few years ago, and I'd never seen that shit in the wild.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about the LARPing.
Pretty decked out.
I get it, but we were in 2nd grade, dude. Getting PVC pipes was like not easy.
Okay, then in that case, like if we're just talking about makeshift swords, like I thought there was more of a when you use the term role playing, like you got a fake name and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do that.
You had a rank.
I've certainly beat up on a kid and been beaten with PVC with ribbons on it before.
Yeah, just said it's a sword.
Yeah.
We had ones that were like a mace.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Seems very ineffective.
I mean, just it's such. You just want to see what you can do in the PVC and sock with tissue in its space.
Fair.
But
Gonna buy her a sword.
That was great times. I mean, are you telling me you weren't fucking in there begging? Can we just get one thing from this fucking mall sword place?
I don't remember having.
I would have even. The swords is great, but like the $200 crystal ball with a pewter dragon hand on it. I would have settled
See?
for that.
Reptile guy.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I agree that the sword and reptile thing is just a circle.
I don't remember having a negative opinion. A negative opinion. I don't remember really wanting one, and I'm delineating this because
I wanted one
I
badly.
did have a negative opinion of karate.
Yeah, no, I kind of did too.
I
did it like I want to say like preschool. Like they had karate as part of our PE class in 6th grade.
Karate.
And by that time I was like, using words that are no longer socially acceptable to describe the kids.
See, think about this. You were doing that before you were loving yourself.
It's around the same time, but yes.
And that's weird to me. Like one of those things seems
Not
way more
really.
natural than to have a slur for a.
Oh, I feel like I was calling kids that years before I was ejaculating. Yeah, so I that was easy. But you know who like did you have kick drugs out of America in your school? I think I've talked about this before.
Don't remember.
So it was
I remember a karate drug thing.
It was a program called Kick Drugs Out of America, where if instead of PE you wanted to learn karate, they were going to provide that opportunity for you. And while they were teaching you the karate, they were going to have an anti-drug message. But
why not?
In order for a program like this to really sing, in order for it to take off, you need what every good initiative needs, and that's a celebrity spokesperson.
This was Norris, right?
Of course.
Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Came to the school. I was like, I did not appear in any theater productions for the school, but the drama teacher was cool. So I took her class as an elective. And like, it was mainly just like, I liked the other kids in there. Like they were fun. But because of that, like, because I was in that class, she had me run sound for the thing. And I had very strict instructions that Mr. Norris only wants calming music. And like he had provided a CD of calming music. But like there's only so many of those songs I could play in sequence. And like I also had Hybrid Theory with me. So I tried to play the calmest song off the first Linkin Park CD, and the drama teacher just like got a full sprint back to my little area, like fucking Mr. Norris will not stand for this. So,
Which is weird.
Got in a lot of trouble for that.
Because I associate Linkin Park with martial arts.
I would think that he would love it. That was my thought in my mind. I'm like, you're going to fuck up Chuck's world. He's not going to be the same.
He just goes nuts. Like
Yeah.
he takes it to another level. Like he finds something within him that he was never able to find.
I thought I could unlock that for him, but no one was willing to let me try.
Oh God, because I think Linkin Park is Reptile Guy too.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Oh shit.
I think that camera stopped recording.
Okay, well, we'll have another episode tomorrow. We'll talk to you then.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow, for everyone who's been a part of this one,
I'm TC and Jake.
we do thank you for watching. Good night.